These are true payroll crime stories with your hosts, Brian Escobar and Walter William Duncan III.
Episode is presented by TimeTrack Go, the simply better employee time clock software that is going to make your life easier. The unique graphical employee time card helps you quickly identify and fix mistakes, cutting your editing time in half so you can go on with your day. TimeTrack Go will not only save you time and money each week, but the easy to understand user interface and the ability to turn a tablet into a time clock will get you and your team up and going in just minutes. And now your hours can go to your favorite payroll systems, including Gusto, ADP Workforce Now, Paychex, and many more. Find out what a simply better solution can do for your business, too. To learn more and sign up for a 14-day free trial, go to www.timetrackgo.com. That's TIMETRAK go.com or call 888-321-9922. Let's go. Welcome back, folks. What's up, Walt? What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. Just another week, another
Yes, sir.
episode.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I was just thinking about our commitment to this, and not that we need the kudos, and you know what the kudos for me is? We outproduce folks. Like when at the end of the year, when we get that production, and like when I told folks like how many episodes we're on or whatever, and they're like, dang, like that's what the moments are for me that I'm like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it's just an experience. So me and Walt recording, we always record remotely, but we're in different locations. So
From our normal locations,
not from our normal location where we're all comfy and set up and we know exactly. And I have my little coffee, I have my regimen, and I get my coffee, and I got this going. I don't have coffee right now. I got water, so I'm gonna do it like that. But I'll trade that off because I'm staring at the ocean. So I'll take that trade off. I'm on the balcony. It's amazing. It's a special episode, of course, true payroll crime we're covering. There's a really crazy, like, current events going on right now. Hackers are attacking Las Vegas. They are just, I'm going to let Walt break it down for us. If you've seen it in the news, and to the point that one of the casinos actually paid a ransom. We cover cybercrime. Guys, we don't mean like we're not into, I can't wait to do cybercrime. Although it's a great subject, like the stuff comes up and we're like, holy crap, we were just talking about this. So it just what hits us so much because we talk about it and it keeps coming up that it's worth reminding us because as payroll folks, we're vulnerable. You know what I mean? We're vulnerable. Yeah. Walt's gonna tell us about the case. We're gonna break down some best practices after that, and we'll call it a wrap, man. We're doing our thing.
Yeah. Caesar's Casino, they were hacked, as Brian was saying. The group behind these attacks is called UNC 3944, or Roasted Octopus, spelled OK0 KTAPUS. They have a history, that group, they have a history of targeting companies like Cloudflare, Okta, and Twilio. Caesar's delayed getting this disclosure out. They had been attacked, I think, back in August, and they didn't release it for a few weeks.
Wow.
I guess they were scared because it wasn't just the casino portion, right? Not like the slots. When you think about casino, you think about the slots and
the gambling,
poker, all that stuff. But it was actually their online gaming portion, right?
So like online casino piece of it.
Yeah, so where you do your sports betting, where you do
gambling.
all that stuff, right? So so they highlighted it in the article and said they called it the gaming industry. Right. Because it's a part of the online stuff, right? And they consider that online betting part of the gaming industry.
Interesting.
They paid 15 million in
Wow.
ransom money to that cybercrime group just before they they the systems were compromised. So the people, I guess, had access and were telling them, "Hey, we have access to your systems. We're going to blow it all up and release everybody's information." And they were like, "Okay, no, please don't do that. That will," because I feel like they felt the reason why they paid it is because they felt okay, 15 million pales in comparison to what we would have to pay
Yep.
if everyone's information was leaked.
Mm-hmm.
And lawsuit, we might have to pay hundreds of millions or
Mm-hmm.
$1 billion or whatever to everybody that's impacted. So they were like,
And the potential loss of business, because then
yep,
they wouldn't do business with them anymore. You know what I mean?
yep. They said that same hacker group also demanded $30 million ransom from MGM, another casino, for a different cyber attack. So
Wow.
they tried to do the same thing. They didn't say whether MGM um paid
Paid or
anything.
nothing. Yeah, no, I'm sure that
Yeah.
shit is sensitive, man. This stuff
Mhm.
is highly sensitive. It's a lot of money. And again, we bring it up and it's so important. It should be so important and top of mind for HR
Mhm.
and payroll professionals because hacking will increase to what was it like 400% or some craziness over the next
350%.
350% over the next 2 years and into the trillions, right? And this proves it. They're getting money. They're getting their money out there and they're not stopping. It's going to increase 350% from now. And the crossroad that I am afraid of is that HR professionals, we're increasing our AI, we're increasing our technology build. So we have to be, that's great. And I'm happy for that, right? But it comes at a time where we have to be the most prepared. And what's up?
Because think about this. These people that are hackers are in these hacker groups, they're intelligent too.
Yeah.
They can develop their own stuff too. They develop
Hmm.
their own software. They develop their own systems that hack into the stuff.
Yep.
Just think about it. Just because us regular people and regular companies are also creating and implementing AI, so are these
So are
hackers.
they. Yeah, they're incorporating it into their dirty deeds. You know what I mean?
So,
Like into
so,
their work.
so that's the thing to your point. That's the thing to consider. To really consider. Okay, wow, this great tool that is used for all this good. Somebody's going to take that same power and just use it for malicious gains and their
Hmm.
own selfish ways, right? There's going to be groups that are going to do that.
Yep.
And so people have to understand, and we'll go over some of the measures you can take in a little bit to prevent that from happening to your business or yourself or your employees or your customers, whatever it may be, right? Like
Yep.
Caesar, I guess originally this group like demanded the 30 million from Caesar,
Hmm.
but they said that Caesar's managed to negotiate the rest and down to half and will use cyber insurance to mitigate the costs. So apparently
Yep.
Caesars was aware of these type of attacks. So they had something called cyber insurance, cyber crime insurance, basically.
Yeah.
And
Hell yeah.
they said that the group that actually hacked them is a newer group and relatively inexperienced for a hacker group.
That's
But
not good.
yeah,
Oh God.
it says, but they pose serious threats. Hacker groups like this pose serious threats to U.S. companies due to their effective social engineering skills. So it's saying that these people in this group have social engineering skills that they can use to actually get
Yeah.
in and
Yeah.
find ways into this stuff.
Hmm.
So we're going to go through, there's 12 different things that we wanted to bring it up to try to bring it back to payroll.
Yep.
We wanted to say 12 things that we could do as far as payroll professionals, payroll systems, vendors to prevent these things from happening with us. So I'm going to go through the first six of these, and then Brian's going to go through the last six. Number one, definitely training, right? Training your employees, empowering them with education about cybersecurity best practices, introducing and including teaching them how to recognize phishing attempts. So phishing is where you may get a text or an email. You get some type of one-off message that tries to pull you in. Like, oh, click here. You won $500,000. Oh, so we're just missing your bank information. We want to send you this money, like something like that. And then they say social engineering tactics, which I want to find out more about.
I just looked it up.
Okay,
I
so
can
what
tell
is it?
you it's the tactic of manipulating, influencing, or deceiving a victim in order to gain control over a computer system or steal personal and financial information. It uses psychological manipulation to trick users into making security mistakes or giving away sensitive information. So still broad, and I'm sure some of the examples are probably social media type of things, right? Getting involved there, catfished, and you
Yep.
can get catfished in there, right?
Like we talked
They
about,
do it for this. Yeah, exactly.
like we talked about some scammers being on the job boards and
Yes, yes.
posing as an employer just to get your information.
There was one, I just saw a clip somewhere,
Mhm.
and they showed real life how someone could get your like a password change, and this lady did it, right? She like put a baby sound in the background. She posed as somebody's wife and to get his info, and the baby's crying in the background. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I have to get to the baby, but look, I can't, and I don't remember, and I don't know, and it where and just the tension of it all, and oh yeah, no problem, ma'am, I'll help you. And dude, the lady read this
Oh, I remember
person,
that. Yes,
right?
I think I sent you that because like the guy was like saying, "Oh, there's no way you're gonna get my information."
Exactly.
And she called posing as his girl or
Yep.
his woman, and
Yes.
she was like, "Hey,
His
I'm his
wife,
wife.
specifically his wife,
I'm
because
his
the
wife.
information it can be shared now.
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
his wife, and oh my God, he's away, and I'm
Hmm.
with the baby." And she had the sound going, and the lady just automatically just helped her. Oh, you know
Just
what? Let
help.
me this
Yeah.
lady.
Yep.
Yep, yep,
So yeah, it's a good one.
yeah. And so like creating
Very
that.
relevant.
Yeah, so it says creating a cybersecurity aware workforce can be a strong defense. So it's like sharing. So for us in payroll, so when you get those phishing emails, when you get those things that say, "Hey, change my direct deposit," CEO Joe at shadygmail.com. You know what I'm saying? So when you get those emails, it's sharing those type of things with your team. Like, hey team, be on the lookout for these type of emails. I just received this email and be on the lookout for these. These things are still coming. So your team is
Yep.
aware. If you have a help desk system that you use, people are going to gain access to that. And if it's and so somehow they gained access to what that email address is for that Zendesk, they will use that and send those things there as well. So they any way that they can like get a digital message to you to try to get your stuff, they're gonna do that because like you can have you can you expose yourself to so much on the web, and these people are just waiting, and you don't know what type of programs people have just waiting for you to put your information in or just enter your social or enter your phone number, your email address, and that's all they need.
Yep.
And they just want to get you on the phone just to get a little bit more of your information. So they say, "Oh, we have this information. Call them up, try to get the rest of it so we can finish doing the job." Number two, MF to the freaking A, multi-factor authentication. Implement MFA for accessing payroll systems. This adds an extra layer of security by requiring users to provide multiple forms of verification. So that two-factor, like this might be like there's been some systems that I've tried to get into where they send you a text code for one thing and then they make you do another test. Like they say, "Oh, pick the pictures that have stairs on it and stuff."
Yeah.
Like, and they do
That's why
that.
they changed it to multi-factor instead of 2FA.
Yeah.
Now that
Mm-hmm.
it's multi-factor because you don't know how many
Yeah.
things it's going to be.
Yeah, and there's been a couple of sites that I've been on that I had to do multiple things, and
Yep.
they have to send you a code and this and that, and they tell you to download the key generator for Google the authenticator for Google, and they generate a key and you got to put it in. There's so many different things, so many different ways to protect yourself as a payroll provider, payroll service provider. There's so many different ways. So multi-factor is definitely one of them. Number 3, regular software updates. So keep all your software, including operating systems, payroll software, up to date with the latest security patches. So if it makes it outdated security measures and outdated software, makes it more vulnerable for people to come in and be exploited by hackers. So somebody could come in, and if you haven't had the latest patch updated to your system, and the latest patch has security updates. That's why we get those updates on our phones. That's why we get those updates everywhere, like that any place that we use, like a software or a system or a program, it's going to update. That's why our laptops update, phones, everything like that. Even our smart TVs, that's why they update, right? Because they have the latest security patch.
Yep.
Right? Number 4, firewalls and intrusion detection. So if you have a good IT team, they'll put up some firewalls, so certain things you can't access. Like I remember I worked at a place, and like they let you go to certain sites. So they basically had it like you couldn't,
like Netflix.
If you try, you couldn't go to Netflix, you couldn't go to YouTube, you couldn't go to Facebook. MySpace was back in the day.
Oh my gosh,
you couldn't go to your MySpace.
Yep. No
anything
Facebook.
Like that. Yep. Nothing like that. But it will let you go to other sites, like work sites, government sites, like stuff that actually was relevant to your job.
Yeah.
You can search the internet for that stuff, but anytime you try to go to any of these social sites, they automatically put something in place. Nope, it's not authorized, and it will shut it down. Doing stuff like that can prevent and help the team monitor and track traffic and identify unusual and suspicious activities. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's some organizations that are still doing that out there. Yeah. Another big one, number 5, is data encryption. Ensure that sensitive payroll data is encrypted, both in transit and at rest. So that means when you send something out, you want to make sure it's protected, especially if it has information that somebody could use to really hurt somebody's livelihood or their life. Yep. You want to make sure it's there, and wherever its destination is at, right? You want to make sure that it's still encrypted or whatever. So good point, good case is don't send a file with the password in the same email.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Don't do that. That defeats the purpose, right? Yep. You have something encrypted and you say, hey, password is this, and the same one that you just basically gift wrapping a present for a potential hacker if they have access to your system. So that's something that you want to make sure that you're aware of, because those emails can be intercepted. There's people waiting for you to send an email, especially outside of your organization. There's people that can actually do that. Number 6, access control. Limit access to payroll systems only to authorized personnel and on a need-to-know basis. Implement strong access controls and regularly review and update user permissions. So these are things like in certain systems that call them access permissions or security profiles that you have set up. You want to make sure that you have the appropriate access controls in place. If somebody in ops should not be able to see unless they do a specific job that impacts it like that.
But that's the right example, right? Somebody in ops shouldn't be able to see what people in HR, their profiles and things like that.
Yes, yes, exactly. So somebody in ops shouldn't be able to go in and process payroll, or they shouldn't be able to go in and finalize a change or onboarding or whatever. There needs to be that segregation of duties. Okay.
Duties and information.
And information,
they can't
right?
Access certain information. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you need to make sure that those are access points that you want to make sure that you have guardrails and security points in place to prevent that from happening. Because if you have someone and we've seen it before in some of our other stories where only one person has the control for that thing, right?
Yes.
And they
Not
quit.
good.
I think
Yep.
there was a story where somebody worked for one of these councils or the city halls in California, and they basically were the only person that had the password for the whole city, and they shut down the whole
Yes, I
city. You
remember
remember that?
that. Oh my
They shut down the
gosh.
whole city because of that one access
They have
control.
the control.
So in that case, that was a bad example of, oh, they were trying to limit it so much that only one person had it, and they realized, okay, we can't do that. We need to at least have a backup or somebody
Yeah.
that can like come in and help just in case one person starts to trip or whatever.
That's very important. That's a good call out because you need to like whatever access you do create for someone, you gotta not make sure like they're not the only ones who have that access.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right. So that's my six. Brian has the next ones.
absolutely. So again, we're talking about the cybersecurity and just things to, because as we talk to payroll professionals, I'm gonna say cybersecurity professionals, the number one takeaway they leave us with is education, right? And these are the types of things that you do. You have this education. Okay, what's education? Here's a good list.
Yeah.
That's all we're sharing. Like, hey, there's a good list of things to do to stay on point. So number 7 on this list is regular backups. And with payroll, it's super important to back up your payroll data, back up your whatever the connections and the mapping is to things, you have that in access for folks. Your files are redundancy, right? You have something in the cloud on servers, but you also have something local on
Yes.
your server that's also saved. And maybe it's triple redundant and you also have it saved on the vendor's access and site. But that regular backups is important because sometimes you'll lose access to the vendor and you're at the will of the vendor of how they archive things and how
Yeah.
they do things. And hey, they may have purged that and they let you know in a notification in the email and you missed it and holy crap, you don't have your data anymore. So
Yep.
regular backups are super important to have. And then when it comes to cyber crimes, if somebody gets access, let's say they think that, oh, we attacked their cloud, then we deleted everything. Nope,
Hmm.
we got great backups and redundancies. So you just deleted that instance. We had it restored in an hour, right?
Yep.
So that's why it's important. Number 8, incident response plan. And this is business continuity planning, disaster planning, however you want to call it. That's what this part is, just having in the event somebody just deleted your whole cloud database. What do
Hmm.
you do?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
you have it backed up somewhere, but now how do you restore all of the things that they just deleted,
Yep.
right? There's going to
Yep.
be some steps there and there's going to be some crap. It's got to be done in order and I used to bring down Unix servers and bring them back up for back in the day. And you had to do it in a certain order. If you didn't do it in order and you go try to shut this server down and you start getting those red oh man, I had to call my boss. And I was like, oh, I did something wrong. Like you're bringing the service down or up in the wrong orders. So you need a plan to when you have to restore these things after. Like, what should go first? Shouldn't payroll be first? Because we got to pay people tomorrow. So yeah, they may have hacked into everything, but crap, we just need to pay people tomorrow and then we can figure it out.
Yep.
That's going first.
Yeah.
So that is why it's important to have the good incident response plan.
Hmm.
And then again, it minimizes damage and downtime. Big,
That's a good color. I like that,
yeah.
the incident response plan, because
Hmm.
it highlights so many different things. That means your communication has to be on point. You need to
Yes.
know then you need to know when to
Who do I
escalate things.
tell? When
If
do I
if,
say
if
yes?
there's a breach in the payroll or anything like that for your payroll pros out there,
Yep.
that's something that you need to escalate ASAP.
Yeah. Heck
Even
yeah.
if you're not sure, it's better to be safe than sorry, right? Like, to your point, I think this is all of them are big, but I think this is a big one. Number 8, incident response plan. I think that's a good one.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
What my favorite one of my favorite quotes is if we fail to plan, we are surely planning to fail.
Yep.
Number 9 is security audits and testing. You want to conduct regular security audits and penetration testing. Well, so what this means is, where would hackers come into your ecosystem, right? And you want to identify whatever vulnerabilities and weaknesses you might have in the system before hackers can exploit them. So again, that's having partnering with a good IT, or having a good IT team that is constantly doing all these things and monitoring for it. But a great big call out for payroll is your tech stack and the vendors you have, aka the SaaS software you have, the connections you're using. So we have data feeds that go over to this and push out there, and right. And then it was like in that incident, that cybercrime case we talked about in the UK that happened this past year. And that's exactly how a payroll company got infiltrated. It was one of the vendors they used to move files. It was a third party that they used to move files around, to help move files. And that's who got hacked, and that's how they could have gotten in. Different story. That was a different cybercrime. But again, this is why this stuff is so important, because it keeps happening, because we are so at risk at it, right?
It feels like it's ramping up, right? It feels like
it is. Not feels like it is, because we reported that. We know it's going to ramp up. We are literally seeing the ramp up. And that's why we need to be careful. That's why we need to keep like these things top of mind, implement a system. And again, for payroll folks, you want to your audit and testing the internal things, but also your tech stack and all of the vendors and connections you may have. Even think about what Excel spreadsheets are going in and out of the system. Okay, think about that.
That's a good point. Remember that Excel tip that somebody gave us, right?
Yes.
They use the same template, because it might be hidden information.
Might be a hidden hack. Where are you getting these templates from? Where are you using? Where did it originate from? These type of things you got to think about. You may think, oh no, I got it from this internet. It was a cool site that I get Excel templates from. No, yes, but you have to vet them now. Hey, IT people, is this good? And like, scan it, do something.
Scan it. See, and another piece of that, and one thing that's going to help you, especially with the testing part, checking for those vulnerabilities, whether you're an IT professional or a payroll professional, it helps if you have an analytical side to question stuff, to test things, right? Having that analytical mindset. When I was early in the payroll industry and in the payroll game, I didn't know what it meant to be analytical. I'll have analytical skills, like to question stuff, to look at things, and what makes this tick, to see what really drives a payroll function or procedure, right? Or process, right? It's as you grow as a payroll pro, your analytical skills should sharpen as well. And those would help you in situations like this.
For sure. For sure. Number 10 is collaborate with cybersecurity experts. I mean, cybersecurity the word is slipping me up today. Sorry. So yeah, collaborate with your cybersecurity experts. Do just that. You got to talk to folks. If you have a gap in talent, you want to engage in consultants and get people to keep looking at and combing over and looking at your site for vulnerabilities. Have them look at your business. Where can we get stronger, right? Where do I need guidance? And again, I'm very close to 2 very well-established cybersecurity experts, and their best practice is education. Like the number one thing, education. Just stay on top of things, be proactive. This is not a reactionary thing. I had a math teacher that said, this is not a spectator sport. You cannot sit back and just watch. You cannot just watch and pontificate and think. No, it's not a theorizing. It's not thought leadership. I'm sorry. It's not. You have to be active and be proactive and be hypersensitive to these things. And again, run down, be proactive, use your best practices.
Yep.
All right. Number 11. Compliance with regulations. Ensure that your compliance in the industry specific and regional cybersecurity regulations and standards. This may include, for payroll, GDPR. Absolutely, HIPAA is included, where a payroll folks are involved in any medical places, HIPAA, you should be signing also those HIPAA contracts, agreements, and industry specific requirements. I'm going to come back to HIPAA. And if you're not familiar, if you're not in the medical, I don't know what it stands for exactly, but it's protecting your personal information in the healthcare industry. So if you're in the healthcare industry and you're a payroll professional or HR professional, you should be signing HIPAA. Now,
Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act.
thank you, sir. And again, it protects the patient's information, right? Which sometimes are your employees, right? And that's why you should sign it, because sometimes it just gets so gray when you're a payroll or HR professional for a medical place. It gets so gray on what you just sign HIPAA, so that now you lock your team down as well to this compliance and regulation, and you protect you're proactively protecting any patient information, any employee information, because again, it could sometimes be one and the same, right? For instance, I was working for an eyeglass place, right? And employees shopped at the eyeglasses places, and now they are also patients in the system that I may have, if I'm in IT, I may not have been privy to this information as an IT person, but now I'm looking at them as a patient, and now I know they're also an employee, and oh, boom, now I got this person's social. Now I got this person's info, and I wasn't privy to it as the employee, but now I'm privy to it as still the employee, or because they're the patient now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to protect against that stuff, because if there's any malice, if there's any things looking to attack cybersecurity, social engineering, right? The company's big enough, they'll plant somebody at that job and wait years to take that shit down.
You're right.
Okay. If the company's big enough, or maybe I just watch too much TV, but so that's where all this stuff starts to tie in: the social engineering, the compliance and regulations, the HIPAA, have them signing the PII and all this. And that's why the combination of all these things is what does it. It's not just the one thing, right? It's the combination of all these things, because they all play into each other.
Yeah.
And the last one is cybersecurity insurance, because why not? If you actually get hit, you want to be able to protect yourself. What was the casino that did it? That just Caesars. And they can offset some of that loss with this insurance that they're paying for. So that's
Caesars and MGM both got threats, but I know Caesars paid. I don't know about MGM. Well, I guess if something happened with them, we'll find out here soon as well. But
it
was Caesars.
Yeah.
So that means anything that falls under that umbrella. So anything that Caesars group owns.
Wow.
So,
that's crazy. That's it, folks.
Yep.
That's some good pieces of info for you. Again, be proactive. And this stuff is getting serious, man. Stuff is getting serious.
Yeah, protect yourself. Protect yourself before you wreck yourself.
For real. We stay dating ourselves. All right, man. Yo, if there's nothing else, bro, that's it. We love you, folks. Check out next time. Make sure to visit the website. It's about payroll.io. We're on YouTube with the show. We are on TikTok with a new show. It's about your paycheck. We are on LinkedIn. Folks, we out there. It's about payroll.io. Check it out. Tell a friend. Subscribers have 3 new shows available to them on that platform. Some great stuff. I'm looking at clips and I'm posting clips and I'm just like, this is great stuff. I can't wait till folks hear it and just really start engaging and consuming the new shows. It's great stuff. Wait till you hear it. Wait till you hear it. Check it out, man.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Peace, y'all.
Thank you for tuning in to It's About Payroll. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.